Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Verisk's second annual live seminar. We look very much forward to seeing you in person soon. And thank you, Scott, for your views on how life insurers can leapfrog into the future using advanced technology and platformed analytic solutions. Verisk is a purpose-driven organization where our ambition is to help people lead healthier and better lives by enabling the transformation of the life insurance industry to become more customer-centric, close the 20 trillion plus protection gap, improve processes, and grow profitably by harnessing the power of technology, modeling, data analytics across the policy lifecycle. What we've seen in the last several years of data is that an increasing interest and participation in charitable giving within the insurance industry. Last year, McKinsey & Company issued a report on this topic in partnership with the Insurance Industry Charitable Foundation, an organization I've been personally involved with for more than 3 years. The report found several interesting trends in the data it analyzed. First, the report found rising interest within the insurance industry for collaborating on philanthropic and other charitable causes. It also found that companies participating in the report survey, representing effectively more than $200 billion of premium, are increasingly prioritizing community needs as well as their own business needs and stakeholder interests. Other top findings included an increased need to measure the impact of a company's charitable effort, as well as the rising influence of millennial employees in driving the corporate charitable efforts. As our industry's corporate social responsibility model changes, it is essential that the life segment not only adapt to this evolving model, but it should help lead it. To that end, I've invited two friends to talk about how the life insurance industry can take a leading role in this changing environment. Hank Watkins, Regional Director and President of Lloyd's America, who also serves as Chair of the IICF Board of Governors, and Bill Ross, CEO of the Insurance Industry Charitable Foundation. Today, I'm going to ask Hank and Bill to introduce to you IICF's new Life Division, the sixth division of IICF that will help focus the philanthropic energy and initiative of our industry segment on some of the causes for social good and community enrichment that can benefit the places where we and our colleagues live and work. As a founding partner of this new IICF division, Verisk welcomes you both. First, Bill, I'd like to ask you to tell us a little bit about IICF and its new division.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And let me take the opportunity to thank Verisk and thank Marone for your support and continued involvement in stepping up to be our first founder of the board of directors. The IICF was started in 1994, and it's been around for growing through those years. As you mentioned, the Life Division will become our sixth division. We're primarily involved in focusing on grants, volunteer service, and leadership. And through that model, we're hoping now to bring forward a life and wealth management division that will focus in similar areas where we can raise money in local regions, reinvest that money through a local grants program. We can coordinate and promote volunteer service opportunities, and we can bring forward unique and special leadership opportunities for the industry in a united way.
Thank you, Maroon and Verisk, for the opportunity to be here today. Really good seeing you, and I hope you all are having a terrific conference so far. I'm glad to be here with Bill as well. I've been involved with the IICF for about 10 years, and speaking of numbers, I've got some to share with you. Since IICF started about 27 years ago, we've been able to distribute more than $42 million in community grants around the U.S. There's also been, as of last year, about $1.3 million raised in support of the IICF's COVID-19 Children's Relief Fund that distributed meals to over 2.5 million families across the U.S. And in years when we only have natural disasters, IICF has stepped up a number of times. Most recently, I remember 2017 with Harvey, down in the Houston area, and then 2018, the California wildfires. IICF distributed several $100,000 to people in need following those disasters. We also have over 600 industry executives around the country and in the UK participating, donating more than 300,000 hours of community service every year. And recently, the IICF Women's in Insurance Conference Series transitioned to an Inclusion in Insurance Conference Series. We've had over 8,000 men and women over the past several years participate in those events. The next one coming up in June in New York City, but of course virtually to folks around the world. And then we've distributed over 100,000 books through the IICF Early Learning Initiative, which has been done across the country in a bilingual fashion to enable a much broader reach of our efforts to young children, especially those who are at risk of not receiving proper early learning initiative education. Now, I guess since I've been involved with the board, like I said, 10 years across the in my time with IICF, but most recently as chair of the Board of Governors, I've really found the impact IICF has on our industry to be second to none. There aren't many organizations in any professional service or business for that matter that actually bring together all of their industry constituents with no competition. All stripes are off. You enter the room after a long day at work, wherever you might be, you pull yourselves together to raise money for the common good. It's really been a thrill to be part of that from a P&C industry perspective. And I'm very much looking forward to supporting the IICF's efforts in the life industry to get this going as well.
Thank you both. Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Hank. And I have experienced it firsthand. I've been involved with the IICF, sitting at the Northeast board for the past 3 years, and the results and the numbers are impressive, and the IICF's reputation is equally so. But I'm sure some of my colleagues are wondering why IICF is looking to bring the life segment into the fold. Perhaps, Bill, could you tell us a little bit more about that? Thank you.
Absolutely, Marone. And, first of all, I think let me answer that very directly. The life segment is a significant and large segment of the insurance industry. And at the IICF, we have been representing primarily the P&C industry for a number of years. But I think the time is right today when we look post the pandemic and we look at the challenges facing the industry and the changes that are impacting the industry today, that we now reach out and bring forward the life segment to participate. Over time, the IICF has learned about its structure, its process, putting in place various programs that I think can bring value, whether that's working with the local media or that's working with the local audience itself in being able to enhance our message from the insurance industry, and along the way to provide clarification about the role that the industry plays in corporate social responsibility.
Excellent. Thank you. So just, I'm going to push the point just a little bit. Bill, why now? Why is this the right time to establish the life division? And clearly, we at Verisk are very excited to be part of it and very honored to help you on this initiative. But why now?
Of course. I think it relates to, as we look at the changes taking place across the industry segments, that our ability to represent all segments of the industry in its entirety, is, I think, to our advantage and to the advantage of sending our clear messages from the industry itself on who we are and what we're trying to accomplish. And I think the time is right to where the IICF has arranged its structure, its platform, that we feel that we can bring forward the resources that'll bring value to the life segment as well.
Thank you. Thank you. You've talked about the strength IICF can bring to the charitable and social good works of the life segment. Let me ask you, what's the immediate benefit of partnering with IICF from the life segment's perspective? Can you talk a little bit about that, Bill, please?
Of course. I think it's threefold. The first one, I think, is about the impact that we see with employees. And I think if you talk to anyone, you yourself know this, that when you get involved with an opportunity where it's not only you, not only your company, but the entire segment of this industry is interacting in a volunteer project, you feel like you are part of something bigger than yourself. So there is clearly a motivation for the employees and excitement for the employees of the industry to feel bigger than themselves. The second piece is, I think we can amplify the good work that's already taking place by the industry through the work of the IICF. And then finally, we serve as an unbiased third-party voice to be able to share the great work that's taking place across the insurance industry.
Excellent. Thank you. And this sounds like a potentially excellent marriage of resources, common interest, and existing infrastructure and know-how. Does this mean that IICF has already mapped out where the industry partners from the life segment would need to focus their time and resources as part of IICF? And maybe I could go to Hank for some insights on this question.
No, Maroon, actually, the IICF is very much looking forward to helping the life industry expand upon its current efforts, because we know that the life and wealth management industries are some of the largest givers of any financial services segment. We're not looking to displace any of the current efforts. We're looking to enhance them, to add to them, to partner with the life segment to essentially bring the experience we've built over the past 27 years, bringing our stakeholders together to contribute so much more to society than we would as individual companies. But as importantly, to work with you to build upon your strengths so that we can continue as a broad insurance industry, giving back to society in ways that they have not yet seen from all of us.
Maroon, let me emphasize that there is a model that the IICF has felt been very valuable and working well, but I think the board of directors of the National Life Division will have the ability to say, here's how we can bring our unique contributions to the overall efforts of the industry. So there's plenty of room for design and creativity. And I think that I would just emphasize that the model of an industry charitable foundation is quite unique. There's probably only two organizations, ours and one other, that serve in this role. So I think we can bring forward all kinds of new and exciting things and ways for us to interact with the community.
Thank you. So let me go back to Hank for a second. So we've talked about the vision, the ambition, and the benefits. And if we may just slightly move into the practical side, if you could give us a bit of a breakdown as to what this all means in practical terms for those in the life segment that might already have ongoing charitable or volunteer commitments. How would you help us navigate through the maze of the organizational complexities and the commitments so that we could support the IICF's new initiative?
Well, Maroon, we accomplished that in the P&C industry through the efforts of the various board members. Through our 5 divisions in the US and the UK, we bring together a wide variety of stakeholders, both from insurance brokers and companies, but also from industry service providers. They all bring a different perspective to the board, if you will, based on their experience in their own companies. So rather than us try to influence what any individual company might be already doing, with a group of, let's say, 15 or 20 board members in a given city, we put our minds together and figure out how we can develop new opportunities. IICF on the P&C side works very closely with children at risk. I mentioned the early learning initiative before in my remarks. We work closely with veterans groups, disaster preparedness, which is critically important to our industry segment. There are a number of different areas that we work with, but we wouldn't suggest that would also apply to the life industry. We would be open, of course, to taking the best from both sides of our beautiful industry, if you will, and bringing all we can to bear together, because again, we're much stronger as a unified voice than we would be separately.
And talking about the charitable activities and grants and priorities, we all have limited resources. How are these priorities and grants by the IICF divisions determined?
From personal experience, of course, being involved with the New York Northeast Board for a number of years, we have a fully functioning grants committee, and every year or periodically during the course of the year when we do different types of grants, they put the word out to various board members to come up with suggestions for charitable causes either in your neighborhood, in the state you live in, or perhaps in the city you're working in, because oftentimes they're not the same place, especially in the Northeast and bigger cities. And we also, of course, invite previous grant recipients to reapply, if you will, for another grant for either the same or similar causes. So there's that whole process takes many months. We receive many more applications than we are able to act on, unfortunately. But once the grants committee vets the applications, brings them to the board for final review and discussion, we feel like we've done a really good job of finding those charitable causes that will accept our contributions, our grants, make the most of them. And then through the course of each year, we have an audit process as well, where account managers, if you will, relationship managers on the board, go out and visit with the grant recipients to make sure that they're actually making the most of the resources we provided to them. So it's a very robust challenge we give to ourselves to make sure the money we've worked so hard to earn during the year is actually distributed appropriately and then followed up on through the course of the year.
Yes, and I've having sat through some of the committee meetings and equally, if not more importantly and rewarding, when we invite the grantees to come in and update us and the industry on how they've deployed the funds and how it changed lives of people and communities. It's wonderful work. So, gentlemen, as we sit in cyberspace, in the virtual environment, and hold these events, I would like perhaps Bill for you to take us into the future at some point when we can all get together in person and host some events and seminars that are led by IICF. Do you foresee combining P&C and Life? Do you foresee having different events and seminars for the Life division? What is the vision for the future, please?
Sure. Thank you, Marone, and thank you for asking about the vision. I think that there is an opportunity for all segments of the industry to come together and to work. We should emphasize, of the 4 domestic divisions, the Northeast, the Midwest, the Southeast, and the Western division, there are also 10 chapters today. And so we actually have operations across most of the US, and we also have an international operation in the UK. And I think those partners are always available to interact with a national life division and to group together, and whether that be a live volunteer activity supporting hundreds of nonprofits, or it might be a fundraising event. But I also think the board has the ability, the Life Division Board has the ability to say, we want to institute or implement a specific program that's unique just to us, and maybe it's a national effort as compared to a local regional effort.
Thank you. So we've talked a lot about the IICF itself, the vision, the plans for the Life segment, and the impact we can all have on helping focus and amplify the philanthropic activities for the Life segment. As we come close to our time today, let me ask a practical question, if I may, that many may be thinking, but perhaps may not want to ask. What's in it for me? What's in it for those who volunteer? Asked another way, as an industry professional, what benefit can I take away from being involved in the IICF Life division? And maybe we go to Hank first for that.
So I asked myself that question 10 years ago, Maroon, and it was answered pretty quickly. I'm very proud of the industry I work in. I, as most people, want to be helpful to others. Oftentimes, though, it's difficult to set aside time in your personal life to do all the work you'd like to do to deliver those promises that we've made collectively to society. The IICF enables you, as part of your company, as part of your industry that you're proud of, to actually join forces, gain support from your company, and get out there and essentially do a lot more than our industry has been able to do by way of making promises. Because face it, we sell a promise to people. Whether you're in the Life and Wealth Management division or in the P&C division, we're selling a promise. It's not tangible. It's not easy to understand, especially when times are tough. That's when you understand our value. But we don't want to wait around for tough times and a trigger of a policy. So we 24/7, 365 days a year as IICF are always thinking of new ways to contribute to our societies, to our communities around us, at the same time promoting ourselves as an industry to people who may not otherwise want to understand us. Maroon, you mentioned the grant receptions that we often have. I come away from those so proud because you hand a check to the leader of a nonprofit organization. Many of them say, I had no idea the industry was so cool, that you really went out of your way to raise funds to help us get through these really tough times. That says it all. For me, Maroon, that's what keeps me going, keeps me focused on doing all I can to support this wonderful organization.
Thank you. Yes, and I share your passion, as you know, and Bill's passion for the industry. I think a job in the insurance industry is one of the best jobs. No, not a lot of people have heard about, and I think you're doing some amazing work here, which is very valuable. I want to thank you both I really wish we had a bit more time, but I would invite my friends, our customers, partners, and colleagues who are interested in learning more or even volunteering to reach out to IICF. Bill, let me just ask you real quick, please. What's the best way for someone to get in touch with you, find out more about IICF, and how they can be part of the good work that you do?
Sure, of course. We'd love to hear from anyone in any regards to their involvement in the IICF. We'd love to see you step forward and become a founding board member and helping us launch the Life Division. You can reach me at bross@iicf.com, or you can go to www.iicf.org at any time. And I believe we'll have some materials that we're sending post the conference as well that will also give you contact information.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bill and Hank. And I thank my colleagues at Veris for giving us this time to talk about the great work that IICF is doing. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you, Maroon. Thank you, Veris.
Thank you very much.